It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of Labor Day weekend 1992, September 4th. Only two movies to look at today, so this should be a quick one. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the first movie that came out this weekend, Matthew Broderick starring in the comedy Out on a Limb.
He's young. He's smart. He's tough.
You're taking over Daisy's cellular deal. Big bonus if you win.
But on his way to the top,
Turn onto that road.
he took a little detour.
I don't think you'd shoot me. Okay. I'm just gonna walk to the nearest police station.
A little detour to the town of Buzzsaw, where life is simple,
Well, what's so complicated about a stolen car?
and so are the people.
See, I was hired originally part-time just to do some filing and light typing. Larry here...
It's my first day.
It's his first day as deputy, you see. And we said that we would fill in until they got back, but nobody said that there would be a kidnap.
I haven't even been trained yet.
It's been great.
It's a town where all men are brothers.
Name's Jim. This here's my brother. His name's Jim, too. We were named after different people, though.
It's a story about men who want too much.
I want $150,000!
And the women who love them.
Stop looking at me like that. You're making me feel funny.
Stay.
We were just talking.
What's with this town? Is there something in the water?
Everybody shut up!
Okay, kids, quiet down. Your father's angry.
It's about family values.
Is this your son?
Yeah.
It's a dangerous romance.
I'm falling!
I got you.
It's a little far out.
Jim! Is that me or you?
Out on a limb. Matthew Broderick.
Hello?
Out on a limb.
Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I never even knew this movie even existed until I saw it in a compilation of commercials from 1992 about a few months ago on YouTube. And, I'm starting to see why, because nothing about this movie makes any goddamn sense whatsoever. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Doc Hollywood or something like that, but Doc Hollywood was at least funny. None of what I see in this movie looks funny whatsoever. None of it makes any sense. Why would Matthew Broderick's character fall in love with this woman who literally tried to steal from him? It's like the people who made this movie saw Northern Exposure was a big hit. It was one of the big hits of the early 90s on television, and said, let's make a movie like this, except take everything that makes Northern Exposure funny and it's such a good show, and just make it completely stupid. That's what I get when I look at this trailer for this movie, and considering that nobody ever talks about this movie, I don't even think it has a DVD release for it. I think it's only been released on video. I could see why, because this movie looks absolutely horrible. This movie looks like it's wasting some pretty good talent. Matthew Broderick, Jeffrey Jones, John C. Reilly's in this. Larry Hankin from Seinfeld when he was the other Kramer. There's a good cast in this movie, but just nothing about this movie seems to make any sense or is even anywhere close to being funny. I mean, it just looks really terrible. This looks like a movie that would easily be on anybody's worst of the year list for the year in 92, and I can honestly see why, because nothing about this movie makes any sense. Nothing about this movie looks funny. Nothing about this movie looks anything interesting whatsoever. I could kind of see why this movie has been largely forgotten, because chances are it's probably not that good on any level, shape, or form. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you on this one here. Out on a Limb looks pretty terrible, so I'm never going to see it. So, let's go ahead and talk about the other movie that came out this weekend, which I have seen. It looks a lot better. It's a much better movie than anything that came out of this movie, Out on a Limb. It's, Tim Robbins, I almost said Sean Penn for a second there. Tim Robbins in the satirical political comedy Bob Roberts.
America is a mess. We need someone to clean it up. And his name is Bob. Bob Roberts, millionaire businessman, fencing enthusiast, recording artist, and senatorial candidate.
Here was a man that not only had a brilliant mind and a wonderful wit, but could also sing. This land is my land.
Bob has a great vision for the future of our country and a great vision for the future of the children of our country.
Hey, mister, can I see your gun?
He's amazing. He's a poet and a genius.
Ladies and gentlemen, why can't you get ahead?
She's a beautiful girl.
Why can't you have the home of your dreams?
Miss 3 Mile Island. Wall Street rap. Michael puts alone from a Midwestern.
The 60s are over, said Roberts.
I couldn't agree more, Tana.
I'm sorry, but I wouldn't vote for you. My life depended on it.
Are you a communist?
Excuse me?
Paramount Pictures presents with Miramax Films, Bob Roberts, a man with a solution.
Choice to be what you want to be. And I want to be rich. That's what politics is really about. Make your judgments if you must.
Bob Roberts. Because Bob spelled backwards is still Bob.
I just wish there was a way I could vote for you 100 times.
Oh, there is, actually.
Really?
Yes. Just kidding.
So I don't think anybody really knows this, but this is actually based off of a sketch that was done on Saturday Night Live. It was a one-time sketch that Tim Robbins did when he hosted SNL back in December of '86. So 6 years before this movie came out, he did a character on there, and I guess he found something to work with it and decided to make a movie out of it. He also directed this movie. There's also Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad. Alan Rickman's also in this movie. Ray Wise, Brian Murray. Basically, this is a mock documentary about an upstart candidate for the U.S. Senate. If you've ever seen Tanner 88, that mini-series with Michael Murphy, who was playing a fake candidate who was trying to secure the Democratic Party nomination for president of the United States in 1988, it's very much that same type of thing. You got a movie there where you have all these real political figures at the time: Bruce Babbitt, Kitty Dukakis, Bob Dole, Gary Hart, Jesse Jackson, Pat Robertson in this, and it's a really good miniseries. If you've never seen Tanner 88, I'd say definitely check it out. It's written by Gary Trudeau, the creator of Doonesbury, directed by Robert Altman. It's very good. It's very funny, very satirical, great acting by Michael Murphy as Tanner. It's definitely one you should check out at some point, and I can say a lot of the things about that movie, about that, and put it into Bob Roberts, because really, it is very much like that. The acting here is very good. Tim Robbins does a great job playing the lead character. He shows off his impressive capabilities as both a writer and director as well, which he would later show a couple years later in Dead Man Walking. The cast overall is very good. You not only have Esposito, Rickman, and Wise here, but you also have Gore Vidal, Harry Lennox, Tom Atkins, David Strathairn, James Spader, Pamela Reed, Helen Hunt, Peter Gallagher, Lynn Thigpen, Jack Black, Anita Gillette, Susan Sarandon, Fred Ward, Fisher Stevens, Bob Balaban, John Cusack. Just a strong cast overall in this movie. The comedy is very strong. The satirical elements are very well done, and the story is written in a smart satirical fashion that puts it above most of the political comedies of the time period. And in a way, it actually did kind of become a precursor to what eventually happened 24 years later, because you have the story of a guy who is known for his entertainment capabilities, and then he eventually becomes a strong political figure. Certainly not to the levels of that person in particular, which I shall not name, but very similar elements there. This is a very funny, very clever, very satirical, very well acted, very smart political comedy that they have here, benefiting from a great script and direction. He knew exactly what kind of a story he wanted to tell and managed to do the best damn job he could possibly do with this and accomplished everything he wanted to say with it. It really is one of the great political satirical films that I don't think a lot of people really talk about, but it's definitely worth it. It's very fun. It's very good, very solid. If you haven't seen this movie, please by all means check it out. Great film, and for Tim Robbins, this is another good movie that came out in '92, because we already talked about The Player, which coincidentally was also directed by Robert Altman, which I think was one of the best movies of the year, and this is definitely another movie that was one of the strongest movies to come out of '92. If you haven't seen Bob Roberts, please by all means check it out. It's you will not be disappointed. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. We'll look at the movies at September 11th, 92 next time around. 8 movies to look at, including Sneakers, star-studded film directed by the same man who did Field of Dreams, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, Wind, the re-release of Blade Runner, which was then dubbed as the final cut, which ended up not being true because we got the definitive cut 15 years later, but we'll talk about this particular version that came out. We also have Crossing the Bridge, Where the Day Takes You, Brother's Keeper, and A Fine Romance. So we have 8 movies to look at next time around, and we'll delve into all of them on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching, I will see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.